should be an excellent night of college basketball in Las Vegas. These two teams have developed a heck of a rivalry over the last decade plus.
And remember, BYU, leaving this conference, has yet to win a regular season or conference tournament title. They could be 40 minutes away if they pull off the upset tonight over a ranked St. Mary's team to potentially finally accomplishing that feat.
Aiden Mahaney and the Gales have the ball first, and Mahaney gets the very first basket of the game right down the lane. Starting five for BYU. Since Rudy Williams went back into the starting lineup for the Cougars, BYU's 3-0, maybe has played their best basketball of the season. Jackson Robinson, that was a nifty move, but came up short on the jumper. Meanwhile, for the Gales, lots of stability over the second half of the year. Johnson, Mahaney, Dukas, Bowen, Saxon, talented and very experienced, the starting five for the Gales. Logan Johnson, one of the best players in this league. Bounce pass to Mitchell Saxon. It's 4-0 St. Mary's.
Yeah, they need to get Mitchell Saxon involved in this game after the performance he had against Gonzaga, which was not like what he's done all season long. Really struggled in that contest. And I think if you're BYU, you want to try to get Foose the ball because he struggled the other night, and get him going and try to see if he can attack and get to the length of Mitchell Saxon and get him on the bench.
Gideon George with the drive and the layup, so that's the first points for BYU. Two teams that can play real grinded out style basketball, and yet in the early going, we've seen shots going down. Mahaney with the left hand, no. And Foose Traore with the defensive board.
And Randy Bennett's going to be happy, though, that Aiden Mahaney is trying to assert himself early. That was something that we talked about today after shoot-around with Coach Bennett. The first half, second half numbers, he said, listen, we're telling him you got to be a little bit more aggressive. We love how you let the game come to yourself and allow your teammates to get involved, but you need to make plays.
Traore down the lane, kind of pinned underneath, gets it back to Spencer Johnson. Johnson right back to Traore, who missed it.
And he should have got up on the strong side instead of going for the reverse layup there.
Well, Foose coming off a game that was not his best on Saturday in the quarterfinal win for BYU against Loyola Marymount. Johnson will shoot the three. That one no good. Here come the Cougars.
Going to be key to take these advantage opportunities in transition. If you can't score in your initial break, look for your secondary break.
Gideon George three, no. Logan Johnson, first team all-conference, conference defensive player of the year. St. Mary's such a great defensive team as a group. Alex Dukas three, no. Kyle Bowen, offensive rebound. There goes Dukas, flips it up and in.
Offensive rebound, kick out, hard closeout. You straight line drive. Dukas was really smart and then went to his left.
Dukas had a real solid season. One of the better three-point shooters in the conference. Rudy Williams played really well on Saturday. Challenged Saxon and draws the foul.
Getting downhill, and that's a concern for St. Mary's. You remember the first game in Provo, it was Hall that had a great job down the hall getting downhill on St. Mary's. Had a career game really that night for the freshman. Rudy Williams has that burst ability up top, and if they can get him in on-ball screens and get him downhill, you can pick up fouls on the interior of this St. Mary's team, and then you can try to punish them on the glass. Because Saxon is a really important player in regards to their ability to rebound and protect the rim.
And Williams is just over and over again these last few games has been going to the free throw line. You see the numbers from Saturday, 11 of 12. All alone, he drew 8 LMU fouls by himself on Saturday. And he makes both free throws. Might not be a coincidence. Look, Dallin Hall, you mentioned he had a great game against St. Mary's, but since Rudy Williams back in the starting lineup, BYU's played better. Johnson tried to hit Saxon. That's a turnover. Robinson in the open court. Robinson, no. Johnson follow, also no. Man, BYU did not take advantage of that. Mahaney, nice lead pass, but a little too far for Logan Johnson. And so the turnover for the Gales. Back-to-back turnovers for St. Mary's.
I caught that. Did you see me? Good hands?
No, I missed it.
Right over the top of your head. I went up and grabbed it. I got vice grips over here.
Yeah, I was busy working.
I'm not paying attention to what you're doing. I'm watching the game.
Excellent hands. Williams in and out, no good. Unusual to see St. Mary's turn the ball over 2 possessions in a row.
They're playing a little quicker here early. You know, and I think that helps them. At times they get stuck, and their offensive rhythm, because they operate so well in the late shot clock situation, you sometimes can put yourself in trouble. But instead, they're attacking a little bit quicker, and I think that's important for them.
Mark Pope, 4th year as a head coach at BYU. It's been a real up and down season for the Cougars. Spencer Johnson talking to Tony Padilla about that last whistle, apparently.
Well, no, I think they're talking about his leggings on Spencer Johnson because it has a Nike symbol on it. And I think they're saying that he can't have the Nike symbol on it.
Huh. Bowen in the corner. Dukas open 3. No. Long rebound. Tap back into the backcourt, so St. Mary's would keep the ball. And the shot clock, they reset the shot clock. And I think they're going to have to make an adjustment on that. Okay, so it's 28. They reset it when they shouldn't have. So we'll go back to 28, and St. Mary's has the ball. I think you're right about the Gales playing a little faster. Nice pass, Bowen underneath. Didn't shoot it. Kicked it back out to Dukas, who lays it in.
But do you see how they're spacing them defensively a little bit? I mean, the offense is spacing the floor. They're making sure they're kicking out, and then it's forcing a long closeout. That's the second time Dukas has been able to get into the lane and then finish with his left. But I like the tempo and the pacing right now for St. Mary's a little bit better.
Traore against Saxon, who's already got 1 foul. Did not commit the foul there. Fight for the loose ball, and they will call a foul, I think, against Aiden Mahaney. Yeah, Mahaney with the reach in. So BYU will keep the ball. Our first time out on the floor. We're going to stay here, not go anywhere. We're about to have the other game end in the SoCon, so we're going to be joined by a whole new audience. So Sean and I will keep it here. St. Mary's with the 8-4 lead. We saw both games, St. Mary's, BYU, in the regular season this year. And to your point about playing a little quicker, St. Mary's, for long stretches of those two head-to-head matchups, both were really close games, got bogged down. So maybe trying just a little different approach here so far tonight.
Well, and I think that, again, it's imperative that they do, because this is such an elite-level defense that if their offensive efficiency can get sped up a little bit yet still remain as efficient as it has been all season long, you're going to be able to extend out leads instead of having to protect leads down the stretch with your defense.
Yeah, and we do expect, no matter how the style of this game plays out, we expect it to be a close game, because these two programs over the last decade have developed a heck of a rivalry. Both games in the regular season came right down to the end. BYU feels like they should have won that game at home against this team.
Well, they should have. I mean, they had the ball. They turned it over on an out of bounds. You know, I mean, and then you have Aiden Mahaney hitting the shot with 0.3 seconds left to go. And I just think that, you know, Aiden Mahaney in the second half, he's a closer. And they need to get him more involved in the first half and be a little bit more assertive. And the numbers back you up on that. BYU fans, avert your eyes, because you all remember this one. A big-time shot by a freshman in front of a sold-out capacity in just an electric environment. And it's a one-point win. But BYU, to me, should come into this game feeling ultra-confident. There's no pressure on them. You know, they've won 2 games to get to this moment. Rudy Williams has played outstanding. Their offensive efficiency, really since the second half of the game against Portland on Friday night, has been really strong. They've got to limit their turnovers. That was a problem in the first half against LMU. But St. Mary's, you know, you're sitting here and you're like, okay, we tied for the regular season championship. Didn't necessarily play outstanding in Spokane. We got to reestablish ourselves and gain some momentum prior to getting in the NCAA tournament, and they're playing for seed lines potentially right now.
The Gales no doubt are going to be in. BYU's got to win this tournament to play in the NCAA tournament, and they are capable. They could win 2 more games. Off the bench, Waterman, Hall in for the Cougars, Traore down low. They got to get him going. Johnson, the tough catch, and the 3, perfect.
They're shooting the ball well from beyond the arc right now and getting his feet set underneath him. He played excellent defense the other night against Cam Shelton, who can flat out score the ball. He's averaging 21 points per game for LMU, and they really made him work for every point he had, and a lot of that was Spencer Johnson.
Mahaney high off the glass, good. Well, there's no doubt that St. Mary's has emphasized that he's got to be more assertive in the first half tonight.
Well, and what it does is it takes some pressure off of Logan Johnson. Let's not forget, Aiden Mahaney had 0 points at the half in Spokane.
Traore, nice offensive rebound, and then he gets fouled going up. It's been a theme for Mahaney the first halves in these games against BYU and Gonzaga, frankly, where he's been almost non-existent offensively in the first half, and then often has saved the day with great performance in the second half. But really, I can't really remember a discrepancy in those head-to-head matchups. The overall numbers show you he's been a second-half player. But, I mean, against BYU and the Zags, it's sort of unlike anything I've ever seen. That's 4 games total, 4 points total in the first half of those 4 games, 46 in the second half.
It's money time, and he steps up. But if he can play a whole game and play with this pace that I like, again, right now, he's going to have 20-plus points. And it's going to then open up the offense to help Logan Johnson.
And just a 2-point lead for the Gales, even though BYU's 2 of 9 shooting in the early minutes. Kyle Bowen, nice move from him. And we welcome those of you who join us from that SoCon Championship. Congrats to Furman. We're here in Las Vegas. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham. WCC semifinal game number 1. The top seed St. Mary's Gales, number 17 ranked team in the country, against one of their real rivals, BYU. And a spirited first few minutes. That's a travel for Noah Waterman. How did we get to this point? Well, St. Mary's got the triple bye. This is their first game in this championship. BYU's already won 2 games. They beat LMU. Later tonight, we've got Gonzaga and San Francisco, second of these semifinal games in Vegas tonight. Now, the head coach of the Gales, Randy Bennett, 2 straight years Coach of the Year in this conference, has done a great job with this team. Aiden Mahaney, too strong, long rebound, a whistle though underneath the basket. I think a foul against BYU.
Good pacing to this game so far, Dave. For those that are just joining us right now, this is a St. Mary's team that is very methodical, and they've been a little bit more assertive here in the early stages of this game, and I think you're finding a better rhythm. And BYU's changed up its defense. It's gone from man to zone. Trying to figure out a way to slow him down.
Mitchell Saxon double team came nicely, and Saxon loses the ball. He's on the floor, and they're going to say out of bounds off of BYU. So Gales are lucky to keep the ball.
And Saxon just, I mean, dribbled right into trouble, was going nowhere with it.
Logan Johnson will shoot the 3. That one no good. Cougars almost kick it out of bounds.
I think BYU's got to look to push on those rebound situations as much as they do off of turnovers.
Wow, Jackson Robinson, and did the ball get tipped? I don't think so. It goes out of bounds. That'll be St. Mary's ball. Jackson Robinson had a really good game on Friday night. He played well at times on Saturday. He's an important player for Mark Pope's team. Here's the sensational freshman for St. Mary's, Aiden Mahaney. He hit the dagger shot in Provo earlier this year at the buzzer to beat BYU. Saxon, another double team, finds Kyle Bowen. He gets swarmed. Johnson passes up the 3 to attack the basket, and he got fouled.
This game has that sense of urgency feel early in it. A good shot fake and then the drive going down the lane. But BYU playing with emotion, coaching with emotion. Mark Pope on the sideline. I'll be honest with you, I thought that was pretty clean up top by Jackson Robinson.
Logan Johnson will get the 2 free throws. First team all-conference player, especially down the stretch. His scoring numbers were way up. Scoring's never been the hallmark of his game. He's been a really good all-around player for a bunch of years. His scoring has been great down the stretch.
Dave, how about the last 6 games? 25.2 points per game in the last 6. That includes a 3-point performance against San Diego. That's how good his numbers have been.
So he makes both free throws. Now, you pointed out how spirited BYU looks. Look, their season is on the line. This has not been a great year for BYU. There have been some real down moments, but they have a chance to salvage all of it with 2 more wins here in Vegas. And they're capable. Atiki Aliatiki got cut off by Saxon. Almost traveled. Spencer Johnson working against Augustus Marcialonis, who's been a good player off the bench for the Gales. Johnson had it poked away by Saxon. Mahaney keeps it.
That's a double dribble.
I thought he dribbled and then put it back on the floor.
That was a double dribble. He dribbled the ball, picked it up, pivoted. Nobody was available, and he just started dribbling again.
I think he knew it, too. He was looking for some help initially. They said, oh, to heck with it. Maybe nobody noticed.
They didn't.
Mahaney against the big man out of bounds. And that'll send us to a timeout. Good start here in Las Vegas. St. Mary's and BYU. Early 6-point lead for the Gales. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
Welcome to Champ Week, presented by Principal from Las Vegas, Nevada. Tonight on a Monday night, semifinal night in the WCC. The top seed, St. Mary's Gales, one of the best teams in the country, with the early 14-8 lead against a very game BYU team. Don't let the 7-9 conference record fool you. BYU is up to the task here tonight. They could very well pull off an upset against a program. We used to have to remind everybody, St. Mary's, year after year, I don't think we have to do it anymore. Everybody knows around college basketball how good Randy Bennett's program is. One of the top win percentages. That's going back almost a decade now.
It's unbelievable what he's been able to accomplish. And if you have any doubt, go ask Indiana in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year what they left feeling about these St. Mary's Gales. And they're better this year than they were last year, in large part because of that guy with the ball in his hands right now.
Aiden Mahaney, and they're going to say a foul on the floor. Mahaney has been so assertive in these first 8 minutes.
Dave, 12 of the 14 points so far have come in the paint. The other 2 have come from the free throw line. Right now, St. Mary's feels like they can attack and they can drive on BYU. And they're not settling for any of their perimeter shots. They're 0 for 5 from beyond the arc, but their efficiency in the paint has been great.
That was also the second foul against Spencer Johnson. That's big. He's one of BYU's very best players. Mitchell Saxon in the paint. Nice little duck under move, and he uses the glass to score.
2 more in the paint. And they're going to work right now. BYU's got to figure it out. They got to bring help. They got to pinch in and force St. Mary's to shoot out over the top.
The freshman Dallin Hall, they're going to call offensive foul. Noah Waterman set an illegal screen. That goes down as a BYU turnover.
As long as Mitchell Saxon, who came off of a game, again, Gonzaga, that was definitely not his strongest of the year, almost a non-factor in that contest. They're trying to get him involved early, and with good purpose. He is playing strong right now.
He had 2 points, 0 rebounds in Spokane. First team all-conference player. Extra pass, Dukas 3, good. Beautiful ball movement.
That is St. Mary's basketball, but with better tempo. They're not winding the shot clock all the way down to the last third, and they're getting better quality shots.
They sure look like it's a nice way for them to play. Hall against Mahaney. That one way off the mark. Hall got in there, though, for the offensive rebound and draws a foul.
We're accustomed to seeing St. Mary's have excellent ball movement. It just doesn't happen as usually that early in the shot clock. I mean, 15 seconds were left on the shot clock when that one went up, but it was a great, clean look. And I think the key for them is you can still dictate the tempo by getting back and setting your defense. Offensively, you know you're comfortable working that final third, but taking a great shot that's available early is better than taking a rushed contested shot late.
Rudy Williams back in for BYU. He's been a big factor.
That's a foul.
Wow, Mitchell Saxon, that's just sloppy.
That's his second.
His second personal, way away from the basket. And that's not going to make his head coach happy. He's going to, I assume, although Randy Bennett likes to roll the dice with his players in foul trouble, but I think Mitchell Saxon's probably coming out of the game, and in fact, he will. Harry Wessels, the big freshman
Did
from
the
Australia.
7'1" guy standing up off the bench, taking off his sweatshirt, give it away?
It was a clue, at
okay.
least.
I'm just making sure.
It's a clue. I don't miss much.
They don't call you the best in the business for nothing, partner.
Down low, Traore had it stripped away. Nice help defense from Alex Dukas, because I was thinking that was going to be a layup for Fus Traore.
Fus has vice grips when his hands get on the ball, so a rare opportunity there to knock one away.
Wessels is going to set the screen. That's a big screen. Marciulionis down the lane, and he just used the shot fake, lost his man, then Wessels was there for the offensive rebound. Marciulionis, that was an easy look for him that he missed, but BYU still committed the foul.
So what has been the book on BYU all season long that we've talked about? Well, lack of size on the interior. And it doesn't really matter who they bring off the bench. They don't have great size underneath. It's not a great shot blocking team. So look to try to turn the corner and get down there. And Mark Pope's had to mix up his lineups throughout the course of the year to try to find the right mixture.
Free throw no good for Wessels, the St. Mary's freshman. Doesn't play big minutes, mostly when Saxon gets into some sort of foul trouble. Logan Johnson's going to come in. Aiden Mahaney will check out. I think St. Mary's has to be really pleased with the way Mahaney, the freshman, has started this game. Second free throw good. It's 20-8. As St. Mary's, we often see the teams that get the bye deep into the tournament, the way it's set up here, struggle in the early minutes. That has not been the case for the Gales.
Well, that speaks to the experience and the leadership on this roster.
Williams straight down the lane to lay it in.
Rinse and repeat that. I mean, that's where I think BYU needs to go. The same thing that they're getting at their defensive end, they need to give back to St. Mary's. Wessel has got Williams guarding him, 7'1". Just stay down low.
Yeah, and the ball went right through his hands. That's a turnover. Saunders on the run out. Saunders lays it in. That's a big little swing there, because that was going to be a layup for St. Mary's on the other end. It turns into two for BYU.
St. Mary's struggled with some turnovers in Spokane last Saturday, and the Zags were able to capitalize on it.
There goes Logan Johnson. Wild shot. It goes down. Huh. He's going to make that one. Could be a big scoring night for Logan Johnson. Allen Hall had the best game of his career against St. Mary's in Provo. Marciulionis is going to get called for the bump or the hip check.
We go back to the other end, though. Logan Johnson, watch the way he explores here. The lefty gets to his right and able to extend away and able to finish up over the top. One of the things St. Mary's guards have always done, they have such good feel and touch around the basket. They utilize it high, soft off the glass, able to drop it in.
Last year we watched Tommy Kuzi make so many shots that looked just like that. Waterman three, too strong, and Johnson went up for the rebound, had it knocked away though.
Yeah, Richie Saunders just everywhere. I mean, a lot of plays he makes, they don't show up in the box score, but he just got his team an extra possession.
Saunders will shoot the three, way short. Okay, so he got him an extra possession and then didn't take advantage of it. He has been a difference maker for them. Josh Jefferson came in to replace Harry Wessels. Jefferson, Las Vegas native, coming off the best game of his career, number 5 for St. Mary's. Played really well in Spokane. Marciulionis tried to slip one in there. Then Bowen was there for the offensive rebound. He's been crashing the glass early. And the foul against BYU.
And it'll be 1-1 in free throws for the rest of this half with 8:20 left to go. You mentioned Joshua Jefferson, local product, number 5 in white for St. Mary's. Out of Liberty High School. It's got a bunch of family and friends here tonight. He has really started to play well, and I think his role is he could be an all-conference player for St. Mary's moving forward.
Yeah,
I think he has that skill set.
So front end of the 1-on-1 coming here. I think we'll have a chance to spotlight Jefferson throughout the game, because I agree with you. Kyle Bowman struggled at the free throw line lately. He's got that new form, and it was working until recently.
He hesitates and thinks on his shot a little bit too much. Great defensive player, doesn't need to score in order to win games for St. Mary's, but when he does score, it makes a world of difference.
Jackson Robinson away from the basket. Gideon George traveled. That's a BYU turnover. So the Gales have wrestled control of this WCC tournament semifinal game. Big news in the conference earlier today. We'll tell you about that when we come back to Vegas.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
Well, in some ways, this is always the highlight night of the year in the West Coast Conference, the 2 semifinal games. Big crowds, spirited crowds here in Las Vegas. Early on in this semifinal number 1, St. Mary's with the 10-point lead over BYU. Big news from earlier today, so an even bigger Monday than usual. The brand new West Coast Conference commissioner, none other than Stu Jackson, who's got tremendous experience in the sport of basketball, a great resume. And we talked to Stu Jackson earlier this morning when the official announcement was made about what attracted him to this particular job.
From the time that I had the opportunity to meet with the search committee and then ultimately the presidents, I just felt that our missions were aligned. Their values matched the values of the conference from whence I came. And personally, on a personal level, it's good to be back on the West Coast. So I think those 3 things really put me in a place where I became, as the process went along, I became very energized about the potential opportunity.
It's just a great time talking with Stu today, and so excited for his vision for this conference. Obviously, with BYU leaving, I asked him also about conference expansion. He said, we're going to be proactive, we're not going to be reactive. That he doesn't like having 9 teams in this conference, wants to see it expanded out, and that they'll be aggressive in doing so.
When we heard together the news that that's who the West Coast Conference was hiring, I mean, I perked up. Stu Jackson's got as much experience in the sport of basketball. And the WCC, it's a great all-around conference. They've got other sports where they shine in, but this is a basketball league.
Yeah.
And I think Stu Jackson is a really interesting guy to take this conference forward in a period of upheaval across the sport. I think he's going to do a really good job.
I agree. And having a basketball mind and a basketball-centric conference is really, really important.
Saunders, again, with the hands, got in there and stole the ball away.
How do you not like watching him play and compete?
He and Kyle Bowen are so similar. Traore lays it in.
That is a huge, huge bucket for Foose. He can maybe breathe now a little bit. He was 0 for 2 before that one. And notice that they've been able to score off of turnovers and get out in the open floor against an unsettled defense for St. Mary's. So key because of how good St. Mary's is of clogging up and getting into the gaps.
Mahaney back in off the bench. Aiden Mahaney uses the glass.
So smooth, so simple. You know, I love letting the game come to you, but sometimes you can let the game come to you by making shots. It opens up everything for your teammates.
You watch him play in these first halves, and you can almost see it happening. I'm the young guy, this experienced team. I respect my teammates. I want to let them. I don't want to be a ball hog. But he's their best scorer. He's their best player.
He is. And that's no disrespect because Logan Johnson, by the way, has had an incredible season. But when Mahaney is flowing, and he's got more points here in the first half tonight than he did in 4 games against BYU and Gonzaga this season.
Yeah, 4 total first half points in those 4 conference games against BYU and Gonzaga. There's Logan Johnson driving against Traore with the right hand. No good. Jefferson got a hand on the ball, but BYU has it, and then Kyle Bowen commits the foul.
That's a foolish foul because that's going to make free throws at the other end of the floor.
So Bowen's committed a couple fouls like that. Mitchell Saxon has. Saxon with 2 fouls is going to get up off the bench and come back in the game. And he'll replace Bowen, who's got 2 personals.
Well, Randy Bengo, why are you fouling there? I mean, and for an experienced player that is a very good defensive player, you're not fouling on a defensive rebound 94 feet away from your basket. Just get back and defend it and set up your defense.
Front end for Traore. Big man who shoots free throws well is good. Reminder, our second game later tonight. San Francisco, the 6th seed, is into the semifinals. Incredible win against Santa Clara. Late night Saturday, if you stayed up with us for that one.
Plenty did.
We congratulate you.
They checked in on Twitter and let us know where they were watching it from.
Double overtime.
Khalil Shabazz, what a show he put on. Can he do it again tonight?
Had one of the all-time great games in the history of this tournament for San Francisco. Dukas has got the smaller Rudy Williams on him. BYU's defense been a little more stout in these last few minutes. Lead down to 6 for the Gales. Mahaney, 3. Good! With a hand in his face.
You know, sometimes you wonder how freshmen will show up in their first tournament experience. You know, I mean, this is a prelude to the NCAA tournament. If what we've seen so far in the first half is any indication, Gales fans should be thrilled.
Yeah, and fans that see St. Mary's in their bracket shouldn't be thrilled. Long 3 from Rudy Williams, no good. Here comes Mahaney and St. Mary's. Because you're right, this is his first time in a tournament setting.
March is different, and how you respond to it often determines the type of player you are.
Mahaney gave it up even though he had Traore on him. Dukas down low to Saxon, who gets fouled.
Well, Aiden Mahaney, he's done it his entire life. I mean, he just, in big games and big situations, he steps up. And look, it's win or go home, right? Like you win the game, you get to stay and play for the finals. If you lose, you wait until Selection Sunday, and you've got another long period of time off in between games. But a great start for Aiden Mahaney. I go back to his sophomore year. They played Salesian when he was at Camp Lindo, and he scored 21 points in the second half of that game.
He's been a great player since he was really young. Saxon misses the first of 2. We got you covered, of course, on Selection Sunday, since we're talking about it. Starts at noon Eastern on ESPN College Basketball Live to prep the day at 6. Reese and the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets get announced. Then we got bracketology, breakdowns of every region. At 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed. So that's Selection Sunday. Everything will stream live on the ESPN app. Saxon missed them both.
Leaving some points on the board right now allows BYU, if they can get a couple of stops, tighten this thing up and steal some momentum here in the final 5 minutes of this first half.
I haven't done the full deep dive to really figure if I'm right. Robinson along the baseline. Tough shot, good. I would say that Aiden Mahaney's close against Gonzaga in Moraga, the home game for St. Mary's, was the best 5-minute stretch of basketball in the country this year.
Given the scenario where the game was at, I wouldn't disagree with you. I mean, because it looked like Gonzaga was going to win that game in Moraga.
He almost threw it away here. And St. Mary's a little ragged a couple of these possessions. Johnson, hesitation move. There goes Dukas down the lane. Jefferson, 3. Good for the freshman. Back in his hometown.
The product out of Liberty. Great high school program. Ton of talent on that roster this year. He was a standout on the prep circuit.
And you can see the confidence growing in him. Rudy Williams down the lane. Williams challenged Saxon. Offensive rebound. Aliatiki fell to the ground. Gideon George goes baseline. Almost traveled. Saunders catch and shoot three. Ball out of bounds off of BYU.
Great scrambling at the defensive end of the floor by St. Mary's. Make it a contested three, even on the late closeout for Saunders. Late shot clock situation. Get your feet set. Shoot it with confidence. No hesitation by Jefferson. He's back in Vegas.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, they do need to push it in transition, and I think it needs to come just more off of turnovers. It needs to come off their rebounding as well. The problem is they've given up 5 offensive rebounds already to the Gales. You need a shooter on the outside. Speaking of shooters, have you seen Walter Ellis from Grand Canyon this year?
A good player, good shooter.
He can shoot the ball. I'm speaking it into existence. We need to get our man to the 3-point slam dunk competition down in Houston.
Can I also just follow up on Coach Greenberg and what he said? Of course BYU can win this game. We do want people to stay with us. Hey, these two teams played 2 extremely close games in the regular season that came down to the final minute, and in one instance to the very final second of the game. Out of the timeout, Logan Johnson just bounced it out of bounds.
Well, and to your point, we have seen stretches where St. Mary's offense looks good right now. But let's not forget, they went 7 minutes plus without scoring against USD. And all of a sudden, a big lead went away real quick down there in San Diego. So this is a team that can get stuck offensively. That's why I think their pace, which is a little bit quicker here tonight, is important to maintain.
BYU ball, final 3 minutes of this first half, trying to cut into the lead. Bowen, who's got the 2 personals, knocked the ball away, but BYU kept it. Rudy Williams just swarmed there. Trey Stewart working against Aiden Mahaney. That's a tough shot, way short.
Every shot's a tough shot when you play against St. Mary's. Coach was talking about their ball screen defense, the way they're able to communicate, and we see it at their shoot-arounds. I mean, you and I were sitting there today, and they're just going through walkthrough, and their guys, the way they fight and make sure that wherever the ball is, there's a hand.
Mahaney, jump shot, no good. It's an elite defensive program that has a way they like to play, and they do it year after year. Mark Fuse, the all-time winningest coach in this conference's history. Number 2 on that list is on the St. Mary's sideline, Randy Bennett. Down low, Atiki Aliatiki, and I guess they called a foul.
Yeah, they called it inside the cylinder. Tony Padilla on the call. Great crew here tonight. Mike Irving, Mike Reed, Tony Padilla, very experienced West Coast officiating crew.
So Aliatiki, who is not a great free throw shooter, will go to the line for BYU. Front end of the 1-and-1. Final 2 minutes plus of this first half. BYU needs points in transition. They could also use some easier points at the free throw line. Just any way you can get something that's not contested against St. Mary's is a bonus, but the front end was missed. Gales, 3 of 7 at the line, including a front end miss.
Otherwise, this lead would be even bigger.
Jefferson, 3. Not this time. Bowen there for the offensive board. He's had a bunch of them in this first half.
I'm going to call Trey Stewart with that foul, leaning on Jefferson down low on the block.
And one reason why St. Mary's is just consistently good. They play at their pace, and it's not a fast pace. They shoot the ball well. They limit your points. They limit your second chances. They're one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the country. Front end good. I like this one on their defense. We don't have it on the graphic there. 3rd lowest percentage of buckets assisted on against them.
Yeah, they really force you to get out. They take away option 1. They take away option 2. They're so disciplined. And again, that goes back to that core leadership, the trio of Bowen, Dukas, and Johnson. They live together. They've been the leaders of this program. The culture in which Randy Bennett has built this year's senior class, as good as any that they've had there as far as that goes. What separates them is they compete every single possession. They don't take one off. You might beat them. They might have a lapse, but it's not because they're not competing. Look at the way they're shown here defensively. Active hands.
Yeah, Johnson got the hand of the ball deflected, and here comes Mahaney. Nice pass to Johnson. Johnson gets fouled. That was really a nicely executed fast break.
And it was all predicated upon their defense. And when you're able to show, recover, shrink the floor on your opponent, have active hands, pinch in, get a steal, you can create opportunities to run out.
And that's another example of St. Mary's being willing to play a little quicker here tonight. Double bonus for the Gales. It was a 2-shot foul anyway. Logan Johnson misses the first free throw. The free throw misses have kept BYU in the game.
They really have. And let's not forget, BYU erased a 13-point deficit 2 nights ago in this building in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Long way from being over in this one. Second free throw, also no good. Man, kind of hard to believe. The BYU gets something on offense in this final minute. Rudy Williams goes by Johnson, challenged by Bowen, and the ball swatted away. Johnson will save it in bounds. I think that was Dukas who gets credit for the block. He's had a nice solid first half. Mahaney calls for Bowen to come up and set the screen. That's what Kyle Bowen does. Mahaney gets that switch, wants it back against the big man. Shot clock winding down. Down the lane, flips it up, and no good. Jefferson, rebound, didn't travel. Now the shot clock is off. Mahaney open 3, good! And I don't know, did they give a foul? They did. They called Gideon George with a personal foul.
So they're going to review it. The shot goes down.
Yeah, he kind of went over, and I don't know that there was anything there, but he did go over and sort of shove Justin Jefferson. So I don't know if they called the foul or if they just stopped play because they want to review whether there was a flagrant foul there. I couldn't tell from what Tony Padilla was saying. The 3 is good no matter what.
Well, this is, see what happens after this.
Yeah, you couldn't see it
from that
there.
angle.
From the other angle, you could sort of see it behind the play. It was a terrific play by Josh Jefferson, who continues to make good plays for the Gales. This one, we should be able to see it.
I mean, he just leans into him. It's definitely a foul, as you can see him lean into it. This will give you a good angle here. You're going to want to watch the right-hand side of your screen. So as the ball gets reversed to this three-point shot, watch Gideon George, number 5, right there on the right-hand side. There's a first push on his own teammate, but this is the one they're going to call. Get his hands up and extending out away from his body. And Tony Padilla called the shot good and then called the foul, which would mean more free throws here for St. Mary's going to the half.
The way that Jefferson reacted, his head sort of flipped back. Maybe Tony was thinking that it was a possible shove or shot to the head area.
It definitely wasn't to the head. It's a common foul.
But what I'm saying is, in live action, the way that Jefferson reacted, maybe that prompted the whistle, but it wasn't that. So they're still talking about things. As it stands, St. Mary's has a 15-point lead, their biggest of the half.
Well, and they're going to have to change the tempo of this game, BYU, and it's going to have to start at their defensive end.
All right, Mike Reed will come over and talk to us. An 8-0 St. Mary's run. Only 9 seconds to go in this first half.
So contact, dead ball, technical foul, 2 free throws, and the ball here for the Gales.
Wow.
Anybody can shoot the 2 free throws.
Oh, my goodness. So Dukas will take the 2 free throws, and then St. Mary's will have the ball with a chance. I mean, if Dukas can make the free throws, St. Mary's could have a 20-point lead at the half.
It's unbelievable. I mean, talk about not the way, obviously, for BYU that you want to end this half. You give up a 3-pointer, and now, because, again, the shot was good, it's deemed a dead ball, contact, technical foul, 2 free throws, and Dukas gets to step to the line and extend out this lead with 9.1.
St. Mary's not taking any free throw for granted in the first half, but he made the first. Dukas makes them both, and St. Mary's gets the ball. Randy Bennett will use that timeout, just a short timeout, so we'll step aside and come back. St. Mary's has a chance to make this an all-time finish to a half right after this.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you should teach him to ride a bike. Then use Greenlight and teach him how to invest in bikes. Teach him to be smart about money and he'll go far.
Super far. Oh, hey, Mom.
Navigate the world of money together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
Wow, what a last minute for both teams. BYU has to be a little stunned. St. Mary's has a chance for the final shot now. Already up 17 after a technical foul and 2 free throws.
You look at what we saw in the season, 4 games, 4 points by Mahaney against BYU Gonzaga, 12 here. A great first half for the freshman in his first WCC tournament game.
So many times this year it's been clear he's just been passive in first half. Not tonight. A 10-0 run already. Inbound play. Mahaney's going to get the ball. Aiden Mahaney, I believe, is going to be taking this final shot. Mahaney, tough, got blocked by Robinson, and the first half will come to an end. Still, though, the 10-0 run means a 17-point halftime lead for the Gales.
Well, what a first half. Offensively, they did everything they wanted to do, but even more so, it's about the Gales defense. They have not allowed this Cougars offense that played with such great efficiency just the other night here against LMU, held them to just 20 points.
37-20, All-State halftime with Kevin, LaFonso, and Seth starts now. Older teammates in first halves of games, and St. Mary's wants him to be more aggressive. He took that message to heart.
There comes a time where you're no longer a freshman in your freshman season. You know, you get the minutes you've earned the opportunity and the right to be assertive, and this senior group knows that an Aiden Mahaney that's more engaged early can really help them.
Spencer Johnson lays it in. First play of the second half. Johnson missed most of the first half. Mark Pope does have a different philosophy. He got the 2 fouls and never came back in the game. Randy Bennett's willing to play his players with 2 fouls much more liberally.
They'd also like to see Fus Traore get more involved in this game. 5 points, but only 1 of 3 shooting.
Mahaney stepped through and hits the shot from the free throw line.
How smooth is his game? Just composed, on balance, stays within himself, knows what his limitations are, and executes to it.
Can finish with both hands around the rim, can take some contact even for a guy who still is a smaller freshman. Traore gave it up. Mahaney, good defense there. Fus gets it back against Saxon with the left hand scores.
2 good possessions by BYU in a row. It was the back screen on the first one. That time playing through 45 and getting deep post position with 2 feet in the paint.
So a lot more ground to make up, but that's an encouraging start, I think, for BYU. Logan Johnson almost fell down. Kyle Bowen passed up the 3. Just a very reluctant shooter. Dukas is not that. He hits the 3.
Great offense to start the second half by both teams. The problem is when you're the team trying to catch up, you got to get stops.
Alex Dukas having a real solid game.
Saxon almost picked up his 3rd personal foul, reaching around the back. Fus there.
Fus, that one just looked awkward. Hurried it. Not been the normal couple games for him. I mean, he's really a player who's easy to admire. He's worked so hard on his game. Just not playing his best here in Vegas. Dukas, very smooth.
Hey, listen, if St. Mary's offense looks like this, they got a chance to win this tournament, but even in that next one, they got a chance to advance because their defense is good, but if they can avoid these offensive lulls, they're tough to beat.
This is about as good as they've looked all year, and they've had a lot of games where they've played really well. Traore, tough shot, used the glass.
You got to keep going to him, and you got to hope you get some fouls on Saxon, get him out of the game, but then it comes down to this end of the floor, Dave. You got to string together 3-4 stops in a row right now if you're BYU.
And BYU's been a good defensive team this year. I mean, they pride themselves on that. Dukas is feeling it. Another 3 for Alex Dukas.
Good night.
Man.
Seth, you want to ask me that question again in studio?
Yeah, we might have a different answer if you ask it again. Rudy Williams, Logan Johnson swatted that one out of bounds.
Oh, my. I mean, look, everything's flowing. Aiden Mahaney gets going early. What does that do? It opens up the offense for their teammates. BYU's trying everything. They go to a zone on that possession, and Dukas just says, fine, go to a zone, sag off of me, I'm going to drill it. A 21-point lead for St. Mary's.
And the 3-point differential starting to grow. St. Mary's was cold from the outside at the start of the game. Not anymore.
They went 0 for 5 to start from beyond the arc.
Williams, tough fall away, got the friendly roll. St. Mary's has made it much tougher on Rudy Williams in this game, even though he does have 8 points.
St. Mary's is 6 for their last 7 from deep.
Wow. Now a foul away from the ball. Saxon got shoved to the ground. Mahaney threw one in anyway. He heard you. Hey, we got to keep the streak going. And that's Spencer Johnson's 3rd foul. So 20 to shoot for St. Mary's, and now do we have another clock issue?
I think we've got another clock issue. They're going to take the 16-minute timeout right now.
Okay, so that means we got the break. Chance to go get a beverage, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere.
I'll be back in a second.
47-28 back after this.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you should teach him to ride a bike. Then use Greenlight and teach him how to invest in bikes. Teach him to be smart about money and he'll go far.
Super far. Oh, hey, Mom.
Navigate the world of money together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
It's time to make some magic.
Very quickly up court, gives it to the freshman of the year, Trailer. Off the glass, it's good!
Make some memories.
Campbell leads!
Make some noise.
Speaking about making some noise, how about the noise yesterday by Caitlin Clark? What an unbelievable performance she put on, her team put on, as they put it on the Buckeyes. 30 points, 10 rebounds, 17 assists, and she sat out the final 4 minutes of regulation.
She the best player in college basketball either side?
She's the most electrifying and exciting player without question. She can shoot it from the logo. I mean, unbelievable.
By the way, this is what, it wasn't a clock issue.
Ooh.
Spencer Johnson, you just cannot do that. And that's excessive contact. They changed it from a regular foul to a flagrant one. You can't do that. It's going to get called. BYU's unhappy about the call, but
you want to tag, but there's a difference of tagging the roller and then making contact in the lower back like that. Now this has gone from bad to worse real quickly here for BYU.
Saxon makes both free throws, so St. Mary's gets the 2 free throws plus the ball on the flagrant one. I mean, was it the worst thing you've ever seen? It wasn't, but it's going to get called like that. And so maybe some frustration just boiling over for BYU. They have a technical foul at the end of the first half. Now flagrant one here. Logan Johnson goes all the way and uses the glass.
Ends up being a 4-point possession, and the lead continues to balloon.
Gosh, St. Mary's looks good. Saunders curls around, misses the 3. Kyle Bowen wanted the flop call against Saunders, who did go flying backwards.
If they called that, though,
yeah,
BYU fans, they would not have been happy inside this building.
Shot clock down to 5. Logan Johnson. For crossover move, no. Ball goes out of bounds, though, I think off of Jackson Robinson.
Well, and see, here's what happens when you have this deficit. Now we saw an aggressive St. Mary's because they let their offense play a little freer early in this game. Now you're going to have to defend all the way late in the shot clock because now they can slow down the tempo, and it works in their benefit.
A really quiet game for Robinson. Traore also just hasn't played up to his normal level. Those two come out. 20 to shoot for the Gales. Mitchell Saxon drives right past Aliatiki, scores with a foul.
What a difference it is. I mean, look, anybody that watched the game last Saturday, Mitchell Saxon was a non-factor in that contest, and he has been much more assertive, playing with much stronger purpose here tonight. Aiden Mahaney was a no-show in the first half of that game, had 0 points, had 12 at the break here. Very motivated St. Mary's team, and 2 players that felt like, to a certain extent, they kind of let down their team by their performance last week. They have really stepped up here tonight.
St. Mary's still found a way to be in that game, but they really didn't play well. It was a chance for them to win the league championship outright. They didn't do it. So the Zags and St. Mary's shared the conference title. Mahaney defending against Spencer Johnson, who scores over top of him.
Good move. Isolation, utilize the size and the length advantage.
Nice pass pass, and then Dukas with a little pass fake. Saunders fouled him.
They're giving him 2 shots. That was a pass.
I thought he was going to pass the ball.
For the Gales, 44, Alex Dukas. He'll shoot 2.
Dave, he passed that ball underneath.
No protest from the head coach of BYU.
In the NBA, you got the little button you can push now.
Yeah.
Once a game. Mark Pope would have been hitting the button like 20 times over the course of this game so far.
So Dukas now, he's got 17. He leads everybody in this one, make it 18. With under 15 to go. St. Mary's already pulling away. Saunders, 3. Good.
I'd like to see a couple more of those go down. Good offensive possession of getting the ball inside. When BYU's had good shots from beyond the arc so far here in this building, when they've knocked them down, the ball has always gotten to the paint and shrunk the defense and then forced that long closeout.
Johnson against Hall, the freshman for BYU. They're going to call offensive foul. Johnson knocked him down.
I think that you're trying to do a little bit too much right there by Logan Johnson. Good position defense here. Some people home may say that's a flop. I think it's a good call.
Hall through traffic, flips it up, no good. Saxon rebound. And then a foul.
That'll be the 4th foul on BYU already. BYU going to extend out some pressure here.
They got to do something.
Now, St. Mary's did not handle the pressure the other day well. Logan Johnson in particular, some turnovers, and here's another one.
Yeah, they didn't handle this well at all. And Johnson reached in and fouled Dallin Hall. Well, St. Mary's is going to see more of this if they can't prove that they can handle it.
Well, first of all, if they play Gonzaga tomorrow night, if I'm Mark Few, I go right back to that 3-quarter court press. St. Mary's did not handle it well. They didn't handle the first attempt to see in a press here tonight very well. I don't know what we're looking at here at the scorers table now.
28. Shot clock at 28. Okay. BYU ball. After forcing the turnover. See if they can turn that into points. Hall 3. Good.
Now you pick up the pressure again. Can you turn it over? Can you force St. Mary's to be uncomfortable? Here comes the trap. Yeah, Logan Johnson. I mean, you cannot catch the ball there. That is less than ideal where you want to catch the ball. You want to catch it free throw line extended, not going to the corner on the baseline, which adds in another defender. The press is working here for BYU.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you should teach him to ride a bike. Then use Greenlight and teach him how to invest in bikes. Teach him to be smart about money and he'll go far.
Super far. Oh, hey, Mom.
Navigate the world of money together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
Back in Vegas, our Worth a Watch is brought to you by Principal, and he sure is worth a watch, the freshman for St. Mary's, Aid Mahaney.
Yeah, he's had such a great year. You know, the numbers are very comparable to that in which we've seen from Patty Mills, and a last freshman that's kind of had a season like this for St. Mary's. He only played 2 years before he left and went to the league. Aiden Haney's got some growth still ahead of him, but boy, has he played well.
Trying to break the pressure. They do this time. One thing Randy Bennett did talk to us about earlier today, we asked him about the press by Gonzaga, and he said, well, Aiden's got to grow as a point guard. He's such a natural scorer, such a good player, and you see it in lots of different moments. Dukas lost it out of bounds. It'll be BYU ball, but Coach Bennett's point to us was he's got to take a little more charge, work on those point guard skills. We need him against the press.
Well, they've gone to Logan Johnson 3 straight times on entry passes. They've turned it over once, had to call a timeout the second time. The third time they were able to get up the sidelines. But I think Mahaney's got to get more comfortable being a lead guard. He's more than capable of doing it. That's a hand check.
Yeah, he commits the foul. Now Hall gets right in his face. Mahaney didn't like that. This game's got
technical on Alex Dukas.
So this game's gotten a lot chippier here in the last few minutes. These two teams have played this way often in the past. This is going to be the final time St. Mary's and BYU meet as WCC opponents.
A little extra push there by Mahaney, and Hall didn't like it and got right back into his face. And then whatever Alex Dukas says right here is what gets him the technical foul. Tony Padilla standing right there in front of him, and he goes ahead and gives him the tee. But watch this at the end. There's going to be a little grab, and then that little pat on the back there is what Hall didn't like. BYU, that press gave him some opportunities. They hit a couple threes. They're 2 of 3 from the last 3 3-point shots that they've taken. And then you get a turnover down here that gets knocked out of bounds, and emotion and frustration. As long as you channel the emotion in a positive direction, it could be a positive for the Cougars.
Hey, look, it's still a 20-point lead for St. Mary's, but BYU needed to do something to change the feel of this game, and they have done that.
Now, is there enough time?
I don't know.
Can they sustain enough stops to do it? That becomes a bigger question.
So the officials probably are going to look
They're looking at Aiden Mahaney's foul right first.
Correct. Which I don't think there's anything there. But we've already had a technical plus a flagrant 1 in this game. Whistle blows. That little extra, is that enough? Maybe.
I think, look, they called the dead ball contact technical earlier in this game. Would it surprise me if they went that same route again on that one? No, it wouldn't. The whistle had blown, play had stopped, extra contact after the whistle that led to the escalation of his teammate stepping in and getting a technical foul on top of it.
All right, so they've decided what they're going to call. Mike Reed's going to come over.
I'll get another conversation with Mike Reed. It's my favorite time of the game.
Sean's such a good listener.
He wouldn't tell me what he's having for dinner later.
Oh, what did he tell you?
So offsetting technical fouls, no free throws assessed, but technical foul on Hall and Mahaney, a personal foul on Mahaney, and then the technical foul on Alex Dukas, which will result in 2 free throws from BYU.
Okay. And Mahaney's going to go to the bench. So maybe Randy Bennett will try to give him a little cool down time. Spencer Johnson, the free throw shooter. Every point important for BYU as they try to come back from what at one point was a 26-point deficit. And they have cut into that lead now. Under 13 to go. Johnson makes them both. St. Mary's has had some, as good as they are, and they're one of the best teams in the country, but they've had some games where they have not closed out well.
The 8-0 run right now by BYU, and again, I go back to that San Diego game. They went 7 minutes without scoring. 7 minutes. If they do that here, this lead's going to evaporate. BYU's got to continue to attack, though. They've been much better at getting the ball in the paint.
Hall throws it up, and the dunk from Aliatiki. More pressure. St. Mary's just does not look comfortable against the press. They got to get it up the court. And they just barely did.
I thought it was a 10-second violation right there, partner.
If it wasn't, it was by the slimmest of margins.
This is going to be an issue for St. Mary's now moving forward. If you're anybody in the NCAA tournament you're watching, you're saying, okay, what kind of zone press do we have and what kind of problems can we create through it?
That's going to be a block foul against Atiki.
Well, at the other end, it was a great drive, and both guys went to the ball. Nobody rolled with Atiki. They didn't tag him. That created that space. You had three guys essentially on the ball. Saxon, Dukas, and Marshallonis all went to the ball. That vacated that weak side block to just throw it up. Great play by Hall.
2 free throws for Logan Johnson, and he misses the first.
Free throws have been a problem for St. Mary's tonight. I mean, of all the things they've done well, it's been the free throw line that has caused them issues.
They're 12 of 19 as a team. Logan Johnson's 2 of 5. And that sort of allows the momentum for BYU to keep building. 1 of 2 for Logan Johnson. I mean, BYU, I know they're down 17. They're feeling like they're back in this game.
Hall. That's that coverage on the on-ball screen there. So good.
Waterman down low to Aliatiki. Hook shot goes. He's played really well.
Well, the key to getting in your press is making shots. And right now, BYU's making shots, and that's allowing them to extend out their pressure.
Marshallonis kind of flung one cross court. He got it there. But even now, St. Mary's is disjointed. Have to call a timeout. The whole feel of the game has changed.
Getting feisty. It's getting
really
fun
has.
here in Las Vegas.
It really has. Lead is down to 15. It was once 26.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
Hey, it's Sean Farnham's favorite music. We're here in Las Vegas, semifinal night in the West Coast Conference.
It's always a great time. Look at the Bellagio fountain.
Think back to the old days of this town. It's grown a little bit since the 1950s. Our ACC tournament brought to you by New York Life. What does this graphic tell you? There are a lot of teams in the ACC.
There is. Carolina's got to do some work. Maybe an opportunity to take down Virginia for a second time in a couple of weeks. Potential matchup in the semifinals between Duke and Miami would be absolutely phenomenal to watch. Miami's small ball team, Norchad O'Meara, the transfer from Arkansas State, really good rebounder. Their guards, Isaiah Wong, look to attack. They're aggressive. Jim Laranaga's team is a team to keep an eye on in the NCAA tournament.
If you ask people around the country, who's the #1 seed in the ACC tournament? Even college basketball fans, diehards, might have a hard time saying Miami, #1 seed in that tournament. Meanwhile, here in Las Vegas, a huge lead for St. Mary's is still a significant lead, but it's been whittled down. And the Gales just not looking like themselves these last few minutes. Credit BYU for that. Marciulionis drives, and he got Waterman in the air to draw the foul, a hard foul.
Well, part of it has been the turnovers. The extension of the press, the turnovers are an important aspect, right? St. Mary's had 5 turnovers in the first 20 minutes. They've had 4 turnovers in the last 3.5 minutes, and that's allowed a 12-1 run by BYU. But even more so than that, the press that extends out, when they do break the press, St. Mary's hits the brakes. They don't make you pay for pressing them. And when you pull it back out, and we saw this against Gonzaga, all of a sudden now, you're so late in the shot clock, you really can't run your multiple screen actions that Randy Bennett wants to run.
And the free throw shooting's just been terrible for St. Mary's. 1 of 2 for Augustus Marciulionis, son of an all-time great Sarunas Marciulionis. BYU trying to keep that pressure on here. Dallin Hall had his best game of the year against St. Mary's. Missed that shot. Rebound Kyle Bowen.
Aiden Mahaney still stays on the bench. I think we'll probably see him relatively soon here. This lineup on the floor, Logan Johnson is their primary scorer. Have to have awareness of where he is at all times.
Clock down under 10. Johnson against Aliatiki, went right by him but missed the shot, and the ball's going to carry him out of bounds off of St. Mary's, so BYU gets it back. Another defensive stop.
You've got to be able to attack and try to turn the corner. Hall was able to turn the corner in Provo on the on-ball screens and get layups and floaters in the paint. That was key to his success in the night that he had.
Saunders got cut off. Hall, tough shot, 3, in and out. Did everything but go down.
And Rudy Williams is back up. He's got to look to be aggressive coming back in the game. So does Cruz Traore.
Marciulionis, more good BYU defense, just a prayer, and it goes down. He flung it up high off the backboard. With no Abe Mahaney, Marciulionis has been really aggressive. Saunders, equally tough shot. His shoe flies off. He gets the shoe back on and then hustle back on defense.
That was a really good, aggressive, fast take. It's hard to get good, clean looks against St. Mary's. If you can drive them and you feel confident enough in the paint, you can create opportunities.
Saxon, one dribble, way too strong.
Now you got to run out of this.
BYU trying to push tempo. Waterman, 3. That one no good. And Saxon got back for the board, then lost it. Loose ball comes to Dukas.
St. Mary's will hit the brakes again.
Yeah, and they do have a tendency to do this, which you can understand when they go up this big. Dukas way outside, no good. Hall draws another foul.
Just a great change of pace. Thought he was going to go for the step back as the defense steps in. That's when you can explode by him if you're on balance. Paul was able to do that and get the foul and get to the free throw line.
So clock stops. I mean, there's still 8:27 to go. It is not easy to come from behind the kind of deficit that BYU faced, but
well, especially because of tempo. Yeah. I mean, because there's a lot of teams, if you play fast, you can erase it really quickly. The key for BYU has been their shot-making ability, allowing them to get in the press. They're going to go right back to it and get in that diamond right away if he makes the shot here. Mahaney comes in for Marciulionis.
So several minutes on the bench for Aid Mahaney, who's had a quiet second half, plus has gotten called for a technical foul.
Rudy Williams is going to be checking in for Hall if he makes this shot, which allows them to set up their press.
Way short.
Missed it.
Rebound. Saunders gets a hand on it and comes away with the ball. Johnson, three, gets fouled by Kyle Bowen. 3 free throws coming up for Spencer Johnson. This could be a 12-point game.
How about Richie Saunders? I mean, Dave, you and I, we've seen so many of these games, but Richie Saunders just somehow, some way finds the ball. He'll dive on the loose ball. He'll scrap on the floor. He fights for an offensive rebound there and got 3 free throws for his teammate based on his energy and his effort.
So now Johnson at the line to try to capitalize on that hustle. Missed the first.
BYU can't miss free throws right now.
They've gotten the gift of all the missed free throws for St. Mary's. But when you're coming from behind, you can't give those gifts right back. Well, 2 more still to come. And Saunders, in some ways, he's like the young version of Kyle Bowen. The Gales he's maybe a more skilled offensive player than Bowen, but in terms of that effort and annoyance factor,
it's high.
And I mean that as a compliment.
You call me annoying all the time.
And it's a compliment when I do. All right, he made 2. This is a 17-4 run for BYU. And again, the pressure. Mahaney kicked ball. I mean, they got it across, but even there, just not easy. And they're never making BYU pay for it.
No. And now it's 21 seconds. Almost 10 seconds have already run off the clock, and they haven't started anything in this possession.
And the lead is down to 13. BYU gets a stop here, and that belief grows even more. Johnson, what a move, right by for the layup.
Just beautiful how he rocked it back to his left and then came right back to his right.
Big time move. Traore hands it off to Rudy Williams. Traore against Saxon. Good defense from Saxon until he committed the foul. So Foose will go to the free throw line.
Now, Logan Johnson has not necessarily scored at the same level we've seen in recent games, but watch it just shift the big man, get his weight going in one direction and see that seam and attack it. Logan Johnson and the Gales up big.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, we want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business. The Strip here in Las Vegas. We're just a few blocks off the Strip inside the Orleans Arena. Semifinal number 1 tonight in the West Coast Conference Champ game tomorrow night. The winner of this one, St. Mary's BYU, will take on the winner of the 2-seed Gonzaga and the 6-seed San Francisco. That game's still to come later tonight. You pacing yourself?
Oh, always do. Moderation is key.
You live by that credo. Traore at the free throw line. Under 8 to go. BYU's done a really nice job getting closer. Now a couple missed free throws in the last minute, hurting their cause.
One of the big reasons they've been able to get in, though, the bench has scored 13 points here in the second half. They only had 2 at the break. But you cannot go 0 for 2 from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's unlike him because he's a really good free throw shooting big man. So now Mahaney and the Gales, they defended Aiden Mahaney really well in the second half after his big first half.
The foul situation, what it is, if you're BYU, you do want to play through the paint and you want to play downhill and try to get to the foul line, stop the clock, and elongate the game.
Johnson had it knocked out of bounds. They had Mitchell Saxon posting up against Spencer Johnson. Couldn't get him the ball. So out of bounds, 7 to shoot for St. Mary's. Saxon will flip one up off the glass. It goes.
Well, they didn't bring any help, and the length. Mitchell Saxon just able to see over the top of Cruz Traore.
So that's a big basket. Every basket for St. Mary's makes the task so much tougher for BYU. Here goes Saunders down the lane. Saunders draws a foul. That one will be against Saxon.
A good drive by Saunders, but let's go back to the previous possession. Out of bounds underneath. You have to know your options are limited. Time is limited. 7 seconds were on the clock. Look at the poise and the patience and the footwork by Mitchell Saxon. Here's a young man who's just got more opportunity this year, but he's really one of the more improved players in the West Coast Conference. And a season ago, Randy Bennett, we were at BYU together, and Randy Bennett was single-handedly taking him aside and working on his offensive skill set. It's like, hey, he may not be there right now, but watch what he's going to do next year. And Saxon has been a guy that has emerged and stepped up huge for St. Mary's this season.
Went from averaging, 2 points a game to a first-team all-conference player.
Pretty good.
He does have 4 fouls. He comes out. Josh Jefferson, who's given St. Mary's great minutes lately, comes in. More pressure. Dukas up the court to Jefferson.
I would have trapped it there with the freshman getting the ball.
Well, he loses it. Hall steals it away. So more problems with the press for St. Mary's. Here's Hall. Got Mahaney in the air. Aliatiki down low. One dribble against Bowen. Scores. He's been the more effective big man for BYU.
He really has, and he was more effective the other night, too, with the blocked shots. There could be a 5-second call here.
Almost did. Johnson trapped. Logan Johnson finds Jefferson.
He is unsettled with the ball. You got to bring a double on him and then stay in that double there. Alex Dukas will settle things down, but this press has been really, really good for BYU.
This game is definitely not over. 6 minutes still to go. Mahaney missed the shot, missed the follow. Long rebound. Gideon George comes away with it. Gideon George on the move. He scores in transition. And the lead is down to 11. More press here. Dukas almost threw it away. And St. Mary's is going backwards. Jefferson.
See, I think you got to drive to try to finish that on a layup.
I don't think one time have they made BYU pay for that press. Shot clock winding down. Alex Dukas, tough shot, no good. Rebound Cougars. Saunders lost it out of bounds. It'll be off St. Mary's. Well, this is incredible.
Right now, you can see the energy building, the rock that is here, the student section for BYU. They sold out their allotment. They filled it up tonight. Feeding off that energy a little bit right now, but I like the way Hall's approaching things at the lead guard position.
He's been the guy who's been really assertive. Trying to take Mahaney, finds George, elevates for 3. A foul on the 3 against Jefferson.
Unbelievable. That is the second time here in the second half they have fouled a three-point shooter. As Spencer Johnson made 2 out of 3. Gideon George, they'll try to make all 3.
This was a 26-point lead for St. Mary's more than 5 minutes into the second half. Talking about 10 minutes of ball, and BYU has slashed the lead way down, getting closer by the minute.
This is unbelievable to see the way that BYU has fought. And they have had to fight to keep themselves in this game. Their defense has stepped up. The press has been outstanding. Aliatiki has been great. Richie Saunders had made big plays, and here we go, partner. It
hasn't been this close since the first half. Gideon George made them all. So now they set up the press. The lead is down to 8. And St. Mary's can't even get the ball in. Logan Johnson has to call a timeout.
And they keep running to what is considered the Coffin corner. That's the baseline in the corner where the end line and the sideline meet. The Gales are not getting themselves in an operational position, and the energy level, it's all about BYU and the Cougars right now.
Your glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Sure, you should teach him to ride a bike. Then use Greenlight and teach him how to invest in bikes. Teach him to be smart about money, and he'll go far.
Super far. Oh, hey, Mom.
Navigate the world of money together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
Well, we got a remarkable story developing here in Las Vegas. This game was a blowout. It was over. And it is anything but over right now. What a run for BYU.
It has been absolutely amazing to see the way that they have played, and the press has been a big part of it. To get in the press, you have to make shots. Well, some silly fouls by the Gales, trips to the free throw line. The bench has elevated and provided energy for BYU, and Mark Pope's team has made this a ball game with 5 minutes left to go.
So a 9-0 run. St. Mary's hasn't scored in more than 2 minutes. If you go back to when it was a 26-point lead, the biggest lead of the game, with right about 15 minutes to go, 26-8 run for BYU since then to give themselves a legitimate chance in this game. St. Mary's has just been totally ineffective against this pressure.
Well, and Randy Bennett, when we talked to him, I asked him specifically, do you anticipate BYU pressing you? And he says, if they do, I think we're going to execute just fine. I hope they do. Well, it has not looked that way so far here in the second half. His guards are catching the ball too deep. They're having trouble even getting open on the inbounds.
And St. Mary's also has blown through all of their timeouts, so they don't have a single one left in case this pressure ramps up even more.
You got to trap that right there.
They did.
That should have been a steal.
Mahaney at least found a way to get through it.
Richie Saunders has got to be the one there that cheats all the way in and gets that deflection.
4.5 to go. Alex Dukas, 3. Good big basket for Alex Dukas. Huge.
22 for Dukas. He's been outstanding tonight.
That's their first points in about 3 minutes. Calms things down for the moment. BYU still playing with high energy. Dallin Hall down the lane against Mahaney. Flips it up and in. That's a big, strong freshman, Dallin Hall.
Got to make him pay. Just throw it over the top to your big man. You had a dunk underneath the hoop. I understand wanting to pull it out. Take your advantages when you have them.
Take your dunk. It's a free 2 points. Mitchell Saxon, he must have gotten popped in the eye. One eye is sort of half shut closed. Logan Johnson, shot blocked by Gideon George. What a play. Here comes George. Lost it, got it back. George puts it in. And Mark Pope wants a timeout. Lead is down to 7.
BYU with no quit tonight. It's all fight. A tough finish over the top of Aiden Mahaney. And then at the other end of the floor, Gideon George erasing it before it could hit the backboard and comes right back down at the other end. Can you imagine it's a 7-point game?
Amazing.
Your Glasses say a lot about you, so you want frames that fit your face, your style, and your budget. Book your eye exam today. Get 2 pairs of glasses for $95 plus a free eye exam and lens upgrade. Find your perfect fit at My Eye Lab.
Roller coasters and water slides? Yes, want that. And 3-themed hotels? I want top bunk. Yeah! Lego bricks everywhere! Fighting like a team of ninjas. Yeah, that too. A whole theme park built entirely for kids. Just what I wanted.
Get 12 months of awesome with your Legoland Florida annual pass.
Welcome to a day in our life. We're running our world, one step at a time. Our not-so-little secret? It's all about the right shoes. Meet Birdies, stylish wear-everywhere flats that feel like luxurious slippers. Shoes made for stepping up and standing out, with exclusive comfort technology that's like walking on clouds. For birds of a feather who make quite a statement together. Birdies, welcome to the flock. Shop now at birdies.com.
Indeed, it was. Pretty remarkable. Thank you, Scott. 67-60. Not only was it a 26-point lead, it was a 26-point lead with under 15 minutes to play in the game. St. Mary's has led the entire game. They've never trailed. And right now, without a timeout against this pressure, the end result is very much in doubt. Mahaney and the Gales break the press.
You had a 3-on-1 opportunity there, and they pull it back out. And I understand you want to run time. I get that. I understand how Randy Bennett wants to play, but I think eventually you got to make them pay for pressing you and take the easy shots.
And Mahaney, who had such a great first half, only 2 in the second half, they've basically taken him out of the game. Johnson goes down the lane and got fouled. Logan Johnson got stripped going up, but they called the foul. He struggled at the free throw line tonight. He's 3 of 6 at the line. St. Mary's as a team has missed 8 free throws.
They're calling this a 1-on-1.
So that was not a shooting foul. This is a big, big shot for St. Mary's. Made it. Guy who's been through the wars, Logan Johnson.
Yep, and this is where you lean on him. You know, I mean, he's been the guy that all season long, he came back for the COVID year. He's made the most out of it. First team all-conference, WCC Defensive Player of the Year. Only can make 1 of 2, though. The free throw line has been problematic.
Yeah, 4 of 8 for Logan Johnson. The lead is 8, under 3 to play. Will BYU have enough time to complete what would be an all-time comeback? Saunders, the freshman, right down the lane. Saunders with the left hand, no. I thought he maybe had a simpler shot.
Well, look, they're extending out the press now, even on misses. I like this.
Yeah, smart. And again, St. Mary's out of timeouts. So if they get pinned or trapped, they don't have an escape hatch.
Right now, BYU just switching everything.
St. Mary's offense just has not been able to take advantage of that. Johnson rejected by Aliatiki. The run out. Spencer Johnson scores. Down to 6.
Oh, Hall was just a step late there.
The pass to Mitchell Saxon, and no shot on the floor, a foul. So again, free throws, but what a block by Aliatiki.
Well, you just wall up, and it's textbook. The front guy walls up. It's the help side guy, the secondary defensive player that can get the block, and then it allows you to run out in transition and be able to score against St. Mary's without their defense being set, and that has been really key here for BYU.
Mitchell Saxon has not been a great free throw shooter, and this is a 1-and-1. The first one rattles down. Under 2 to play. A 26-point lead is down to 7. Randy Bennett looks like he wants this last minute 58 to be over fast. Second one. No good. Rebound tapped around, controlled by BYU. And the missed free throws are a huge part of the story.
Yeah, but now time is not on your side. You got to play really quick here, but you got to play in control if you're BYU.
Hall fell down.
That is not in control.
Yeah, his ankle turned or whatever. Fell down and threw it out of bounds. That's big. Sideline inbound against this press. They're just running to trap whenever they can. And Kyle Bowen has been unwilling to do anything but that when he catches in the front court. At this point, you understand why. A minute 30 to go, up 7. BYU not fouling.
I think they play this one out. Next one, they'll start fouling.
Aiden Mahaney's been the big shot maker late game for St. Mary's all year. Offensive foul. Shot went down, but he gets called for the foul. Turnover.
Complete flip of the script for Mahaney. He was great in the first half, has struggled to find any rhythm here in the second half. Extends out that off arm just enough.
That's his 4th personal also. So a timeout here in Las Vegas with 1:20 on the clock. BYU gets the ball back. Will they have enough time to pull off the comeback?
Here's something I didn't think I'd say tonight. I like Richie Saunders with his hands on the ball, curling off that screen action up top. I mean, he's been really aggressive, and he's shown the willingness to attack downhill and not be afraid to make contact and draw contact. And I think that's anything BYU has to do right now. It has to be going downhill. You want to stop the clock. You want to get a layup or a foul or both.
The first of 2 semifinal games. The winner of this one is on to the championship game tomorrow night here at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, taking on the winner of our second game later this evening, Gonzaga and San Francisco.
That's going to be a great game. If you guys haven't seen Khalil Shabazz from San Francisco, he may be small in stature, but man, he can flat out let it go. He had 38 the other night in one of the all-time great performances in West Coast Conference tournament history. Their guards can make shots. They're going to have to make shots against Gonzaga tonight.
It would be a March kind of game if San Francisco could pull off the upset where you figure Shabazz and Ty Roberts going to have to heave in a bunch of shots from the outside, but they're capable.
They've done it before. There was a buzzer beater win for Gonzaga over San Francisco early in WCC play on the Hilltop.
So that's still to come tonight. First things first, the final minute 20 here for BYU. Got to go fast, down 7. Dallin Hall had it poked away just momentarily. Now to Saunders. Saunders baseline, reverse, good!
I tell you, I'm not saying get the ball in his hands. I mean, he's been aggressive, and almost a turnover right there by Aiden Mahaney. Instead, it's going to end up being a foul.
Yeah, he got popped in the face. I think that got the foul called.
But Saunders' ability to rip and go, and as this program transitions into the Big 12, I think he's one of the building blocks that they're going to be able to look at and say, hey, he can be a difference maker. The deflection there, and then just the reach around from behind.
Yeah, that was a chance for the turnover, and almost bad luck for BYU. They didn't get it. So now it's Mahaney, double bonus. That's something for St. Mary's. Mahaney guaranteed to get 2 free throws. The freshman who's got that clutch gene makes the first.
He told me it's actually his brother Carter that had the clutch gene in high school. Had about 7 buzzer beaters. His brother plays for Chico State. Aiden's been pretty clutch this year for St. Mary's.
Yeah, it took Aiden a while to get his first, and now he seems to know what to do late.
Kind of thrives in it now.
Yeah. He made them both. 7-point lead for the Gales. Hall down the lane. Hall, 3, contested, good! Tough shot, under a minute to go. Mahaney pinned. Dukas into the front court. Bowen holds. You would think they want to foul him. They don't. Now Mahaney's got it. They're not fouling. Now they do.
Foul. You can't let any time run off the clock here. If you're able to get that turnover, it's completely different, right? But as soon as they break half court, you have to foul right away. And I would have fouled Kyle Bowen.
Yeah, it may have not been. There may not have been anybody close enough to get to him, but that's the guy you really want to find a way to foul.
And you just got to scramble out of it.
Yeah.
So that's the tough part. You're expending so much energy with extending out your press. And when they throw over the top, you got to turn your head and you've got to be a world-class sprinter and get back to the level of the ball and try to foul immediately.
What an effort from Dallin Hall in the second half. He fouls out. 2 shots again for Mahaney, who just made 2 a moment ago. He missed it. The free throw misses for St. Mary's. Only a 4-point lead. It was 26 14 minutes ago. 1 of 2 for Aid Mahaney.
Rudy Williams got to pick this up and go. No time to waste.
He goes, step through, and scores. More pressure. Dukas to Johnson. Logan Johnson along the sideline. Finds Bowen underneath for the layup. Good.
First time all night.
The whole game.
Attacked it to a score.
5-point deficit. Williams rejected by Logan Johnson, who came out of nowhere. And then Mahaney gets fouled and hits the floor hard. "19 seconds left. A 5-point lead for St. Mary's. Mahaney to the line. What a block.
What a block by Logan Johnson. The athleticism of Logan Johnson. It's sneaky. You see it at times. I mean,
wow.
He almost hit his head on the foam.
His head was about to hit the backboard.
Conference Defensive Player of the Year coming up with a big-time defensive play.
If you questioned him winning that award, that play would be evidence in favor of the Defensive Player of the Year in the WCC. This is huge, obviously, for Mahaney. Crazy game.
SVP talking about bad beats.
He missed it.
This could be a double bad beat, potentially.
From how'd they do that to, oh my gosh, St. Mary's found a way. Loose ball. Rudy Williams under 10. Spencer Johnson, open look, in and out. Ali Atiki gets blocked but fouled with 3 seconds left.
Dave, let me just take this moment here.
Okay, please.
BYU came in this conference 10 years ago.
Yep.
They thought they were going to be the team that was going to challenge and knock Gonzaga off the perch. They're going to leave this conference after 10 years, not winning a conference championship in the regular season or a conference tournament championship. And that's pretty hard. I mean, you think about all the great teams. They've had some pretty good teams. That 2020 team I thought was good enough to reach the Sweet 16 with the Oli Childs, Haas, and Toulson. Truly remarkable. But I think that them coming into this conference actually forced others to step up their game. And we've seen not only Gonzaga, but St. Mary's continue to elevate and keep their strong positioning in this conference throughout this journey of BYU. And by the way, BYU will be drastically missed in this conference.
They will be. They've been great for the WCC, but the final second of BYU's time in the West Coast Conference is happening right now with a tremendous effort from the Cougars.
An unbelievable effort by Mark Pope's team to make it what this is. I mean, it was a 30-point game, Dave.
And our friend Stanford Steve paying attention to these free throws. Okay. In and out. In and out. No good. Dukas with a smile on his face.
Stanford Steve might not have a smile on his face.
Second one good. Rudy Williams is going to pick it up. He'll heave it down the court. That one hits the backboard. BYU's time in the WCC comes to an end. St. Mary's, meanwhile, a chance for a conference championship. They survive and move on to the title game tomorrow night.
The Gales' offense tonight was pretty good. I mean, they got to be able to handle pressure better. They're going to see it tomorrow night if they play the Gonzaga Bulldogs, because they saw it last week up in Spokane. They're going to have about 24 hours to figure that out. But Dukas was sensational. Logan Johnson with a big-time defensive play, and all that effort from BYU made it a 7-point game. Important to some.
From 26 but BYU couldn't come all the way back. So St. Mary's is in. They'll await the winner of Gonzaga, San Francisco, coming up later on ESPN2. For now on ESPN, for Sean Farnham, Dave Fleming saying so long. Time for SVP.